Hello everyone, Krydox here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. Picking up right where we left off, Arcads are buzzing around, doing things, and I mean, yeah, at this point it's just a matter of... It's kind of annoying the eggs aren't being distributed. Like, not one building is getting all of them. I wonder if I should switch that to a fast inserter. And by fast, I mean faster than mechanical. It might help it get a higher ratio. Anyway, the twofer's going, and hopefully soon it's enough twofer. Oh, that's sand. Okay. Hopefully soon it's enough twofer to actually get us. Oh, they're really hard to see on the belt. They blend in. God, that's so much sand. It feels like we should be doing something with all that sand. That's a lot of sand. And I'm just trashing all of it. I mean, I could be making pure sand with it and stocking that up. I don't really care about making stone bricks with it. Yeah, it's just like... What else are we gonna do? I guess we could turn it into gravel and a tiny bit of crushed quartz, but that's kind of weird, and a little bit of iron. I do remember we were talking about a better quartz recipe, so we could provide pure sand. I don't know. There's a couple ideas. Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. Sorry. I just, my brain did a million things. My mouth hasn't caught up yet. So, in our system, we've talked about like byproduct provide and trash provide and stuff like that. So there are some systems. Uh-oh, why is this stuck? It's still stuck on concrete. Let me double check if that's working. It's not. Shoot. But where's the sand going, if not here? Shouldn't this be receiving sand from that huge amount of sand output we have down here? Oh, is it? It is. Okay. It just took a while. Yeah, I also just realized I don't think we have sand provided anywhere on the network, do we? Except as byproducts. Because down here I'm making gravel, but not sand. Do we need to make sand as well? Might need to. By the way, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. I need to go fix that. There's so many things happening. Oh goodness. And we still need to do the Vrauk Mark II egg loop, which is going to be awesome. I'm so excited about that. Anyway, I didn't actually finish my thought. Oh my gosh, you guys are like, Krydox, we want to know what you're thinking. So what I was thinking is there are other times where you want a side... So there's side products. Side product producers are when we're getting rid of something like biocrud, but we don't just want to trash it. It's like, wait, there's something useful we can make with biocrud. That's called a side product. That's my term. A byproduct is something you get that you didn't ask for. A side product is utilizing a byproduct for an unnecessary but helpful recipe. That might be an alternate way to make something that will save your other parts of the base some effort. There's trashing, right, which is what we're doing to just delete items. Side product is kind of a form of trashing, but it ends up providing something useful. But then there's the idea of side input. I don't know what else to call it, but like, let's say for our glass making, if we have pure sand, we'll bring it in here and deliver it and utilize the better recipe for quartz. Like, we could set all that up. It's kind of like what we're doing with one of my hot air tin solder recipes or something, where I was like, use the hot air if we have it, but otherwise just do the other recipe. And we can do something like that here as well, where we request pure sand, but like, we don't want to need, so I guess we would actually request pure sand on channel 2. So I guess that would kind of make it a side product, but it's a side product integrated with a main product. It's like a side input. We're utilizing kind of something we were going to get rid of anyway as an additional input to improve the process, but not a separate process, if that makes sense. So I guess what I was trying to figure out and where my brain was going is like, would we do that on channel 1 or channel 3 or channel 2? If we did it on channel 1, then it would always request pure sand. And I guess that wouldn't be that useful if we only wanted to do it when we had extra pure sand anyway. So if we only wanted to do it if we were going to trash pure sand, then we would need to do it on channel 2 with a higher priority. And that's basically a side product, right? Or I guess it would just be channel 2 on normal priority, because trashing is always on extra low priority, -50. So anyway, that kind of answers that question. So what am I doing right now? I was going back to the base for something. I don't actually know what for. Anyway, this has been making wax, which is good. So that's hopefully made a few extra empty honeycombs. We should see this at a higher rate now that that's running. But I guess this had to back up first, which it now is. Yeah, that just made some. Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. Our CAD stuff is going. You just gotta trust in the queen not dying. Trust in the queen not dying. All right. So I think I'm over here for the. Oh, we needed more cages too. I'll do 300. Anyway, back to the idea of like side inputs. Side product, side ingredient. I guess they're like side ingredients. They're not necessary, but when we have them, they're helpful. So I could set up my glassworks to accept side ingredients, and we could do the other molten glass recipe, which utilizes the absurd amounts of pure sand for when we have pure sand, right? We're doing like 43%. So that would require us to powder the quartz though, which is pretty easy. We would just need a single ball mill. So basically all I would need is to provide the pure sand. We would have another ball mill that would, and we could just buffer, you know, a one-time cost of buffering a bunch of powdered quartz, and we could have powdered quartz on one side of the belt, crushed quartz on the other. So that's totally doable. I don't really know if it's worth it. If we start running low on glass, it might be, but I haven't really had that need any time recently, so. All right, so we're finally free with all this nonsense. Now, what are we gonna do with it? So we need to set up now a loop. I already know my inventory is gonna be angry with me. So let's get rid of some stuff here. And I'm just gonna manually remove these because we're gonna have to build something new. Now there's a chance this fails, right? I don't know if I should tear all this down yet, because there is a chance this fails. It's not a high chance, but it... So you're saying there's a chance. It does exist. I guess we just need Vrauk paddocks. So this one. I mean, the chance is tiny. We only have a 1% chance to lose them, and we only need to succeed twice. So there's a 2% chance that this fails. And we have to do both of our Vrauk Mk2s again, which would just be like, I would just cry. Oh my gosh. But otherwise, this should work fine. We get enough cocoons to make... I guess we only have a 50% chance to get an additional Vrauk Mk2. So to really be safe, we have to run this 4 times, which gives... That is an 8% chance to not have everything work out perfectly. That's way higher than I want it to be. PyDevs, you truly are evil. Truly. Truly evil people. Alright. So let's grab this. Grab this. Just need some more Vrauk modules. I guess 7's maybe enough. I don't know how long this recipe takes. But yeah, moment of truth. Moment of truth. And then I'll need another one, which I can handcraft. Oh gosh, this is so stressful. Any of these like almost done? I kind of just want to steal some Vrauky poos. Gimme, 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 gimme. I guess it only makes 2 at a time. Oh man. And ta-da! Of course I only get 1. Where did it put the Vrauk? I don't see it. Do you guys see it? It's gone. It must be hiding underneath a flora. I don't even see the thing. Oh my. Probably better off grabbing from these guys. Is there another one on the belt somewhere? There's one. Oh my god, we're 50% done! So what do we get? We get 4 to 7, which is 5.5 on average. And again, we need how many? So this one cycle produces 0.5 Vrauk Mk2s on average, so I need 4 cycles on average, which means I need 32 cocoons, which is 6 craftings of 5.5. That gives us 33. So I need 6 times for this not to fail. So there is a 6% chance. It's not exactly 6% the way odds work, but it's roughly a 6% chance for me to absolutely want to die. Is the short version. Roughly 6% chance. Goodness. Okay, good. Didn't fail, but we got minimum cocoonage, which is a bummer. Okay, and I do need some Vrauk food. I do need flora. Okay, let me just do this. Oh man. What a time. What a freaking time. Alright, you just go in there. will be sorted properly. So then we'll also need... Yeah, I mean... As soon as I have enough to run this, I want to run this one. Because then we at least have a good chance to get... Even if I get one of my 2 Vrauk Mk2s back, then that at least, if we then get screwed over in the second half of the process, we at least only have to get one more to try again. So I want to run this one as soon as I can, which we're guaranteed to be able to run it after this. So let's set this up here as well. Is this a different channel? No, it's just normal network. I wonder what happens to delivery bots when you pick or dolly something out underneath their feet. Do they just start moving to the new location, or do they not know what's going on? I have no idea. All right, here we go. Moment of truth number 2. I do need some more Vrauks still. I could just steal a few from these. Fine. I don't mind being a Vrauk stealer. I do want that one to have 10 out of 10 though. There we go. Okay. Don't fail me now. Okay, it didn't fail me. But we got minimum again? Come on, guys. That's only a 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only a 1/4 chance to get minimum, and I got it twice in a row. I just want to complain about my luck, let's be honest. Unfortunately, we started another cycle, and I didn't really want to. So hopefully we don't fail this time. That would be... If we don't get them back on this one, I will be so pissed. I mean, this is only a 50% chance to give me one more, but still. That would be a huge, huge loss. Ugh, this is stressful. This is stressful. $572 products finished. What a hoss you have been, Reproductive Complex Mark 1. You have done really well. How are Arcads looking right now? Did we lose the queen? No. Haven't lost the queen yet. It looks like things are a little stalled out, though. This shouldn't be running. Oh, I guess it's not. It's just... Okay. Yeah, it's gonna run a couple times, potentially. The good news is we've got 2 more sets of maggots on the way. Okay, good. We should be okay. Alright, here we go. 88%. Okay, good. Good. Alright, so now we get to roll the dice over here and see if we get 2 or 1 back. Got a 50-50 shot, and then we have 6 eggs ready to go. But if I don't get 2 back, we'll need to put both back over here. I guess I'll just hold it. You know, I could make it run faster. Might as well get a little bit of the extra speed there. We've never seen a Vrauk paddock with more than 0.5 crafting speed. We're up to 0.545455. Also, why is it 545455? Shouldn't it be 545454? Oh, but it's 545, which rounds up. Never mind. Wait. Yeah, no, that rounds up. That's rounded properly. I thought it was rounded improperly for a moment. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys. This is just a flip of a coin. Can we get a heads, please? Heads, heads, heads. I should be doing other things than this, or I should set it up more properly. I'm kind of enjoying the process. Alright, here we go. And I'll just do it manually. What do we get? We get, please be 2, please be 2. Yes! Yes! Okay, we're still not out of the woods, but we are partially out of the woods. So now if things go sideways, we're only lacking 1 Vrauk Mark II. I'll feel really safe when we have 3 sets of 2. When I have 6 Vrauk Mark IIs, then I'll feel a lot safer. Because then the chance that things go south is a percent of a percent of a percent. You know, you start getting into the tiny, tiny fractions of a percent where I'm not really worried about it. Still possible, though. Bad luck is bad luck. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to figure out exactly how to cycle these, but they don't need any cocoons. They do need water barrels, flora, and sap. I don't know the sap rate that they need. 4 a minute. Each of these makes 3 a minute? Okay. So, I'm not going to delete these just yet in case we have a fail. I want to at least get to 4 total. Once we get to 4 total, then the chance we end up with a full fail is really low, because we figured it was 6% for a single one, so it's basically 6% of 6%, which is 0.36%. I think. Yeah, that's right. So if I can get 1 more, then I'll feel pretty solid about this. And I can even run I can run both at the same time now that I have a spare one. And this one's guaranteed to come back, which is nice. Okay. The other interesting part is you actually don't need any cocoons. I guess it's kind of the same deal. Okay, we got them back. Good, good. I got minimum again, though. I've gotten 4, 4, 4, and 6. So not the best luck on how many cocoons we get. That's fine. Try not to complain too much. And then I think empty barrels... Yeah, I mean, those just go back on the belt, so... We can do that. But yeah, I'm gonna babysit this until we succeed. And then arcads, are we still running here? We got 3 nest makers going. Honey is all stopped up because it wants to be. Perfect. I love that. We're short on maggots, but that's probably okay. Because now, yeah, now these are all stopped up. So all nest deliveries are now going to make actual arcads, which means that'll go to making eggs, assuming the queen doesn't die. I wonder how it does RNG. Can we trust the RNG? Can we trust it? I've been playing a lot of Pal World, and it gives you a capture chance percent, and I'm 90, maybe 95% sure that it's lying about the capture chance. Because the number of times I have a capture chance that's like 20% or less, and it just catches the Pal on the first try, it just feels like it's lying, and it's giving you and a lot of games do this, to be fair. They lie about the rate because the way humans feel about randomness, they feel cheated if they're like, it's a 50%, I threw 2 balls, I should get one. So really, a lot of games will use either pseudo-random number generators, where they'll actually fake the chance. Oh my god, we got 2! Yes! We have a full double, and we got those back. Okay, we're now probably in business. Okay, so why don't we now set up the actual loop? Wait, what? Is that for real? Why? Why is there... Is this a squeak through problem? Why are they putting items on the ground there? Okay, but now it's not? I know that I... Is it because I canceled the recipe? I want to see what happens when one of these finishes a craft. Is it going to put one on the ground? It might be because I canceled the recipe. Alright, I don't know what this chaos is, and I don't need to. Wow, it was not supposed to run for 500 cycles. Then again, like I'm saying, the odds for 500 cycles is not actually that bad. When you look at the math. I haven't looked at the math, but we should. Look, I did the math for all my complaining. I need to do the math for my... Okay, it didn't put one on the ground. I'm very confused on how those ended up on the ground at some point then. So the math is a little more complicated when you're doing... By the way, I was asking about how many successes and stuff. I'm still talking about the binomial distribution. It was a few episodes ago. There still isn't a distribution for what I was asking for, which is how many trials would it take to reach a certain % chance of success to get a certain number of successes. That is not... It's guessing and checking on the binomial distribution is basically what I'm asking. But I don't actually know if there's an explicit formula for it. So I'm just going to Google binomial distribution calculator. So probability of success on a trial is 0.005. And then number of successes, I want it to be 2. And we did 572 trials. And the chance we succeed, probability X is greater than or equal to 2 at that point is 78%. So that means only 22% of players have to go that far, is what that means. Another way to think about it is the probability you have less than 2 successes at that point is 22%. So we were in the bottom 22 percentile of players, is what that means. So that's not the worst. And the way we could calculate that in terms of, you know, let's add a math lesson here. I don't think we have the choose button, which is unfortunate, and there's no factorial, so we actually can't do this. Because we would need to do 572, choose 2, because that's how it works, because there's 2 successes distributed anywhere amongst that, times 0.005, which is the success chance to the second power, times 0.995 to the 570 power. And 572 choose 2 is 163,306. 163,306. I just googled that. And there you go. There's our chance. So that is the wait, no, that doesn't sound right. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? That can't be right. Because that would be the explicit chance to get exactly that many, not the CDF function. That's not accumulating all the chances underneath it. That's the chance we got exactly on exactly 572 trials, which that can't be right. That can't be 23%. CDF function for binomial distribution. Did I have it wrong? No, this should be... Did I do the wrong one to the wrong odds? The chance of success is 0.005. The chance of fail. No, that's correct. The probability mass function is in choose k times p to the power k. Where p is the chance of success. So 0.005 to the power of 2. Something's wrong. This should not be 23%. Maybe it's Helmod's order of operations isn't right? That could be it. Times 0.005 to the power of 2 times 0.995 to the power of 570. It's giving me the same thing. What is happening? Wait, I'm sorry. This is calculating something else. My bad. Right. This is not... Oh my gosh, sorry. This is the binomial distribution. So it's calculating the chance for an exact number of successes. Right. This is not... The variable is not the trials. The variable is the successes. Now this makes sense. So what this is saying is if you do 572 trials... there's a 23.4% chance you get exactly 2 successes. I'm sorry, this is correct. Okay, now that makes sense. And then there's, of course, a chance you get less than 2 and a chance you get greater than 2. Right. Okay, my bad. Everything's fine. Thank you for indulging me. Run that again. So now we need to set up this loop. So let's get all that deconstructed. I'll let these finish and then we'll move them over because we just don't need all this over here. We can make this a lot nicer. Ooh, that's a lot of flora. Kind of satisfying, though. It reminds me of Roller Coaster Tycoon, when you would build a bunch of track pieces and the cost would float up in the air. By the way, I'm guessing a lot of you are fans of Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I'm talking about, when I say Roller Coaster Tycoon, I mean Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Those are the only games in the genre, in my opinion. I know there's like Parkitect and there's some other ones. Coaster, Planet Coaster, all that nonsense. I don't acknowledge the existence of those games. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is the only one. So, aka Open RCT 2, which is now a thing. If you didn't know, there is a version of Roller Coaster Tycoon that is open source, that they've like completely made a ton of improvements to the game. It fixed a bunch of bugs, improved the engine's capabilities, it's better performance, all that jazz. And there's a guy on YouTube named Marcel Voss, who I highly recommend. He makes all kinds of RCT2 videos, and they're very entertaining. So, I'm guessing as Factorio players, you guys have some amount of interest in that style of game. I guess I can just shift these over while they're running, which feels really weird, but that is the beauty of Picker. Oh, no. Is that... No, okay. Nothing broke. Okay, so we'll just shift these over, and then we'll need some sort of... I don't know exactly yet, but there will be some sort of chest in between them. We don't need to feed them eggs. We do need to feed them sap. The rate of sap usage is 0.067. We basically need 2. Sap extractors for each. Okay, we're no stranger to 2 sap extractors per building, are we? What is all this nonsense? We got so many random power poles here. Alright, sap trees. Alright, so sap will get manually delivered that way. And then they both make empty barrels. So let's see, this will come up to here. We need fluorospolenen, get her rid of her. Fluorospolenen. Technically, we need that on both of these as well. But these will just have an output, a generic output, into this chest. All things get output into that chest. Then we will have an inserter that's filtered on spolenen and empty barrels. Those should be the only 2 waste products, yes? I think so. Everything else should stay inside the system. So those are the only things that go back. We don't need moss. So then that just goes onto this belt. Okay. That works. Now we'll get rid of empty barrels. And then we'll figure out what to do with the other things with circuits and inserters. So at least that's my plan. And I can now delete this belt. And this one. Okay, and let's get rid of our moss. Water barrels can go. We've got a lot of water barrels that we need to get back into the network here. So let's, yeah, just overload those buildings. And they'll redistribute over time. Okay, so then what we're dealing with is we want this one to run to get enough eggs. So this guy will run as long as eggs are less than 16. And then this guy will run as long as Vrauk Mark 2 is less than, we'll go for 200 of them. And I mean, I think that's it, right? There's technically still a chance of failure, though. We've got a total of 1, 2, 3. Those 2 are in. I guess I have 6 now. I'm already up to 6. Yeah, because that's consumed 1 in progress. This is 2 in progress. That's 3, 6. We have 6 total Vrauk Mark 2s. There's an extremely low chance of failure at this point, no matter how I break it down. So, I think we're safe to let this work. So this one should be disabled, right? Wait, no, this isn't disabled. But we should have enough for the automation insertion limit to be reached. Yeah. And this will cycle back. Okay, so yeah, I don't think we have to worry about like, oh, this has stolen a couple of the Vrauk Mark 2, so now this one can't run. I think we have enough now that that's not even a problem. Unless this one fails, in which case we might need to babysit it for a bit longer until it's back up and running again. But now, I mean, I think what we've successfully done is get... Yes, another success. Perfect. With every success, our potential failure plummets. Yeah, so that's automatically running again. And then this just continually has a chance to increase our amount of Mk2s in circulation. And that's it. Oh, no. We've forgotten one thing. We need the Vrauk food requested for both. Boom. Okay. So everything's properly automated. Everything is automato. Let's at least get some free... I don't even know. What is this? Free electricity at this point? I mean, what am I actually distributing? Who cares? Electricity. It's such a small amount of electricity. It just... None of it even matters. But I might as well get rid of stuff. And then we do need raccoons and all that. Okay, so now what I'm lacking is actual Vrauks. Oh, but it's beautiful because now these will be able to run full time. Oh, you know what I just realized? I guess Vrauk Mk2s will make this faster as well. But is it... which one is it going to make faster? Hold on. If you have more modules, that means the impact of the building's base speed is smaller. So when we replace everything with Vrauk Mk2, we actually should end up with more eggs, right? I'm not 1,000,000% sure on that. I'm not totally sure. Let me go grab some Vrauks so we can actually see the real numbers. That's 5. I think I needed 6. Okay. So the real number, I think it's exactsies, right? Isn't this exactsies? We got exactly 0.5, exactly 0.5. Yeah, these are exactly the same rate. So what I'm thinking, unless my brain's thinking about it backwards, is that when we replace all the modules with Vrauk Mk2, that we actually will get a few extra eggs, which is wonderful because we need extra eggs for cDNA. So that's actually really nice. Wow, that delivery took forever. But it's here now. Oh my gosh, now we're up to 4 on top of the 3 in progress. So we're up to 7 Vrauk Mk2s. I finally feel safe. Like, I think I was on bated breath, but with 7 Vrauk Mk2s, our chance of failure is like... I mean... I don't know what it literally is, and we've even got an in progress one of the... I mean, it's extremely small at this point. Like, lottery winning, maybe levels of small. Maybe not quite that low, but we're less than... Because we already said with 4 of them, there's only a 6% chance of failure if you have 2. And there's discrete differences when you start having, like, if you have 3, then the chance goes down. But let's just imagine it was just for every set of 2, you have a 6% chance of failure. So now my chance of failure is 0.06 to the 3rd. It's really kind of to the 3.5. I mean, we're talking 0.00005. That's less than 1% of a percent. We're fine. We are fine. And there's another success. And there's another success. So that's amazing. So now we're up to 8. Right? Yeah, we're up to 8 total. Oh yeah, we're not failing anymore. All right, so I can just leave that alone. Breathe a sigh of relief. And now I just want to go visit our cads, see how they're doing. Hopefully Queen is still alive. I should probably set an alarm for Queen dead, now that I think about it. Alright. Uh-oh. Wait, no, those are all running? Okay, queen is alive. Got scared for a second when I saw these weren't running. That's just because we're not making enough nests, I guess. Again, there's quite a few wasted. There's 9 nests wasted sitting in those. Honestly, that's probably not a bad thing. To have a few wasted. So yeah, what do we actually need to do here? Let's grab all the extra eggs and dump them into this one. So that runs. Honey's good, which feels really nice. Wax is probably good now. Yeah, that's not running anymore. Perfect. Perfect. So does that mean I now can disconnect? Is that what that means? Because these all have their automated insertion limit. There's a full 50 in circulation on the belt. And there's an extra 13 in there. So that means I can now make it a closed loop and we don't need to top up. But it also means the top up isn't doing anything since it's a closed loop. So I actually think we're fine. And then this is really just here to support this one. Which I guess why don't I do this slightly differently, where we prioritize these ones. On this side, and let that back up. I'll just help out here for a second. This is oddly comforting. A little plop plop sound. Very nice. Okay, so then that should make it so that this guy is lower priority than all the ones we've already built up. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much I need to do here. Everything's working. The nests are being delivered over here to make arcads. Those arcads are showing up. I guess the problem is the insertion limit here is 14, so that one's gonna go up a little bit. So like, it's still gonna be a few more cycles probably before things start to even out. Because remember, this has a chance to make only 5 arcads out of 2 nests, and 5 arcads only ends up making roughly 10 eggs, which ends up making 2 nests, which is net 0. So like, this is not a fast process to spin up and actually become more self-sustaining. I think I can speed it up a little bit if I do one of these again. It's true that now the next 6 nests will go to these buildings, but it's still better if I do it this way, I think. So now those will run 3 times in a row each. Make a bunch of arcads. Should be enough to get a bunch more eggs. It'll be a cycle, but I think I can leave it alone. Except we wanted a queen alarm. Did I already set one up? I don't see one over here. So, queen 0. Oh my god, that's so loud. want that sound. What's the most panicky one? There we go. That's the sound we want. Perfect. Okay. We've properly set up an alert for when we no longer have a queen with us. LOL. Okay, so one thing I want to check before we leave, though, is what's going to accumulate. As the loop slowly is positive, you know, and things start accumulating, what's going to accumulate? I guess it sort of depends on which buildings I have more, like the ratio of speeds. Like if I had all of these going, then we would accumulate nests. If we had all of these going, then we would probably be accumulating arcads, but then those would eventually stop and start running the queens. So I guess that's what we want. We want this to get to a steady state where we're only making enough arcads to run the queens. And are these buildings stopping at any point? No, they have no filter. Yeah, we need to stop these buildings. But they have red hot coke in them, which is kind of annoying. But with a 2-hour spoil timer, I'm just not worried about coke spoiling once in a while. They only buffer 2 each. If they were buffering like 50 red hot coke, that would be a different story. And my rule is columns and then connect the top columns. That's my rule for connecting buildings. Having consistent rules is good. Okay, so then I'm going to make a rule where these buildings just straight up stop crafting. Wait. Why are they set to that? If nests are less than 40? That doesn't make any sense. We'll go to 60, and then these buildings will chill. Okay, but I do need this to not be the case. You chill on that. I'll put more arcades in you guys eventually. But yeah, basically what I want is for us to get a good amount of arcades in circulation on this belt, and then things will stop. Okay. Alright, and I mean, yeah, at this point... Oh, but we're also measuring arcades in these buildings. Oh, shoot. Right, I keep forgetting that. And these are going to be potentially holding a lot. So maybe this should be more like 80. 80. And then this is measuring also in the buildings. So that needs to go like if there's more than 60. There we go. And there's 4 bonus arcades that got put on that. Perfect. Okay, well, hopefully the queen alarm doesn't go off, and hopefully if we get really lucky, then we'll just get another queen soon. And then that will immediately get requested and go to here, and that will immediately get placed on the belt. Because I want a total of 2 queens in circulation. Oh, that's gonna need a change to 6. Because the automated insertion limit is 2. I'm okay. I want 6 queens, right? Having 2 is fairly safe, but still dangerous. Having 3 is the point at which you're probably good to go. Like, statistically, it's insanely unlikely that you would burn through 3 queens without getting back 3 queens. Because didn't we math it out that each queen produces like 10 queens on average? So you would need to, you know, have an absurdly unlucky run 3 times in a row to lose 3 queens. So, but we already saw it happen with 1, but then I got lucky again. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, I think we're good. The crates, cages, whatever these are called. We can get that going, so those can buffer better. That's a lot of wasted caged Vrauks. Should we just make this a sushi? But we're not limiting eggs. We are already you know what? No, we should make this a sushi. This is ridiculous to not do that. We're already set up for it. All I need to do is this. And now I just do egg less than 300. Like, what? How many can I fit on this belt? It is 75 times 4 is 300 per lane. So let's go to half the lane on eggs and caged Vrauk. 40? I mean, what rate do we need on those? Actually, half of a Vrauk per second. That's not nothing. So, 1 every 4 belts, roughly. So, if I want to be... Okay, wait, we said that's 75. So there's about 150 belts. Yeah. So 150 items would be about 1.8. So I did 150. Okay, that's perfect. And then this can be about 75 or 8. We'll do 80. Okay, and then this can just go away. And that gets me back a lot of caged Vrauks. For the system here. Boop. Boop. Alright, there we go. And then that will back up, which is perfect. Sweet. Alright. Should I make an alarm for yay we have more queens? Yeah, why not? We've spent a lot of time with bad luck. Let's celebrate the good luck. So then this one, queen greater than 1. We need a happy sound. Oh god. What's a happy sound? None of these are happy. I guess I could do the miscellaneous. Not that one. That's kind of a nice noise. New objective. I've never heard that one before. Alright. So that'll be a nice surprise when that happens. Now, why are these not running? You still have no... I mean, it's probably because of what I did over here. These had to buffer back up again. Oh, goodness. It's probably better if I also enable these. At least get them running. So that it doesn't matter how the maggots get distributed. But yeah, I think we're good with Vrauks. Oh my god, this episode's already an hour. Oops. That'll keep running to make sugar. Let's grab those, since those are just free to put back into the chest over here. Oh, there's some barrels that we lost. I'll just put them in there. Wait, am I messing something up by doing that? No, that would be those buildings. Alright, and then into this one. Wait, we don't even need... Hold on, there's a whole belt here that needs to get removed. Get rid of you. Okay, so sap. I don't have any. Didn't I just see? Was there some in there? There's 4. So sap goes in here. Along with, do I have Vrauk food? I have a bunch of Ralasia. That goes in here. And the coal goes in here. Okay. And then the fluorospolinen, I'll just let that spoil in here. Sweet. All right, I think ARCADs are all set up. Vrauk Mk2s, let's go check on those. Very exciting. Oh, this makes me so happy. They're running, they're accumulating. I have 5 of them. I have 5 spare ones of them on top of the, what is this? 9 that are naturally buffered in the system. That's the other nice thing, is with 9 of them naturally buffered in the system, that's a extremely safe percentage, so I can take all of these if I want to. And what we will also do to make it literally like so safe that I would statistically die of old age before it would fail, we'll just make the modules in the buildings Vrauk Mk2s, and then of course we won't then have to worry about running out of Vrauk Mk2s because we'll have backups inside the building itself. So then I can definitely take all the ones out of the chest. So what we'll do, which one of these is slower, by the way? So this makes 0.046 eggs, this uses 0.067. So this one needs the speed boost more. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Look at that, 0.72 crafting speed. Now they're literally perfect? What are the odds of that? That's really crazy. So this one having a crafting speed of 2.6, and when I say plus 1500% is 16. So this has a crafting speed of 16 compared to base. This has a crafting speed of 11 compared to base. And the ratio of these eggs is actually 16 to 11, apparently, because that worked out exactly correct. That's really nuts, actually. So then if I do this, I have slightly too many eggs, which is fine. And then these are all running, so I'll just put those there. And the other good news is now none of my cocoons are going to this nasty process, and that means our formic acid production will go back up. And how many Vrauks do I need for this ARCAD process? This is part of the problem too. I need 0.5 Vrauks, which is like way more than this makes. So I'm scared even with all Mark II, this is not going to be anywhere near enough to keep ARCADs going. Now, granted, this is the long-term amount of Vrauks we need when these are fully built up. Right now, I'm running about 1/3 of this, or less. How much am I running? About 1/4 of this. But even running 1/4 of this still needs 0.125 Vrauks per second. And this only makes 0.1. So it'll make 0.2 Vrauks a second, roughly, once we get all Mark IIs, which helps. But that still won't be enough. I'm going to need to make a huge Vrauk complex. Now, the Vrauk TURD is researching. It's still a long way away, but let's look, before we finish the episode, at potential Vrauk TURDs. Vrauk upgrade. So, what do we get? Freshen up and reuse any wastewater. They will be drinking the same barrel of water for the rest of their life. That is kind of pointless. Does it speed things up? No, it literally just removes water barrels and empty barrels from the loop. That does not seem worth it to me at all. The speed's the same. Yeah, no, definitely not doing that one. Turning off lights during the night to bring them more comfort. It will save energy and allows those Vrauks to be more productive in the morning. Respecting Vrauk's sleeping patterns, though, will reduce speed. Okay, so what does that actually do for us? It slows it down, but productivity goes up. Now that's interesting. The real speed is negative 25%. The productivity is plus 15%. So what that means in essence is that you end up with 0.75 speed, but extra 15% productivity gets you a net final of 86% output. So you only lose about 14% of your output, which is about 1/7. So that means whereas before you needed 7 buildings, you now need 8 buildings. Roughly. But here's a crazy piece to this that I'll get to in a second. First, let's look at this one. This one just adds a whole new recipe. Cyanic acid and formic acid to ammonia. Now that's interesting. That's really interesting. But don't I have another way that we're gonna get soon to make ammonia? That's probably gonna be how we do it forever. Yeah, I mean, urea to ammonia is probably how, and a little bit of chromium also does it. Later on, there's even molybdenum plates and shale oil. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the other one, and here's why. You might have already noticed it. You might have already seen it. Did you see it? Pause now if you haven't seen it. Also, wait, what does this change? Now I need to... Wait, what? I'm not seeing the difference. This is so dumb. So now the recipe to produce Vrauk products has a byproduct of lamps. Why? That's so funny. And kind of annoying. Because my auto mall does not handle byproducts yet. We'll have to figure out how to add in that capability. Because this is gonna add a bunch of lamps we don't want to the network. That's really funny. Anyway, so what this is gonna do, if you haven't already seen it, is make arcads better. Because this is a Vrauk paddock, and it will get all the benefits of Vrauk paddocks, which means we will get 15% productivity on the egg to maggot ratio, which is huge. That is huge. If we plug that in here, okay, what we're gonna do, I'm going to real quick, I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna make a new production block here. Make that a block. Paste. Delete that one. Okay. And then we set the output. Okay, it's set to be the same thing. So these should be the same everything. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so then I should be able to now change this to have... How do I do this? There it is. Natural cycle. Did that work? No. That's annoying. So Hamad doesn't quite support figuring this out. That's really frustrating. So that's still going to be wrong because it only has 9 Vrauks plugged in instead of the full 10. But you have to add the module. I don't think there's a way to fix that. Yeah, that's a little sad. But the only thing it changes is the amount of buildings we need. It at least gets us correct for the ratios here. So looking at like what that changes, What did I have plugged in here? Or 229 is the final out for Vrauk, so we need to divide this by 0.29 times 0.229. And we can then see the differences between these two. I mean, look at that. We're reducing our input Vrauk need from 0.536 down to 0.389. And Malaysia is another big cost here. We're reducing that from 1.47 down to 1.05. I mean, this is an arcade upgrade. This arcade upgrade might be more important than the arcade turd itself. Wow. And not to mention, these are going to be tier 2 Vrauks soon. So we'll only need like 3 buildings running when we do the tier 2 Vrauks. Oh, wait, but does Natural Cycle become Natural Cycle Mark II? No, that's in the Mark II building. So this is awesome. That extra productivity on eggs is an insane boost. Oh my god. You know what else I just realized? It's also a boost on used comb. So that means... I don't know exactly what that means. But we'll get more used comb out than we put Arcade Honeycomb in by 15%. Does that cancel? Are we gonna have too much wax now? I don't know exactly what all is going on here. Why is that 87%? Let's remove wax barrels from this version and see what happens. Something doesn't feel right. Because that has 0.093 used comb. Why is that not being supplied by something? How do we have an input of used comb? Oh, because of that. Because we're trying to make all the wax that we need. But why? That doesn't make sense. Because we eat the used comb that gets eaten to make the maggots will now be increased. And then the used comb... I guess it doesn't cancel out still. Let me change that to 100. Okay. And then this one, if I delete those, changes to 100. Okay, so there's the difference. 0.145 used comb input, which really doesn't make sense because it would be more like a wax input. So maybe I should reduce this until that disappears. So here it's like 66, 65.5, 65.3%. Okay. So there we need 1.45 wax in, and here, I know I said this episode was going to be over like 20 minutes ago. Classic Cardax. And here, this is going to be less of a percentage. 80, 70, 65, 68, 69, 68.5. Okay, so here we need 0.986 additional wax. So we're reducing our wax input needs by about 1/3. That's a huge cut. Now, I thought it would be maybe more. I'm surprised it's not more. I guess... I guess it's this process that uses most of the empty combs that go into making nests. That's where most of the wax goes. And the combs that we actually end up utilizing for the egg to maggot growth is a pretty small amount. So that does give us a little boost, but it's not, it would need to be this process that has productivity for us to get the full amount back. I see. Okay, that makes sense. But still, also look at the Ulrichs, 0.279 down to 0.22. I mean, Vrauk food even goes from 0.2 down to 0.159. This is just amazing. I'm jazzed about this. I don't really care about the natural gas and biomass or hot air, but the rest of the things are great. And look at all the building counts. It reduces the building counts way down as well. I mean, to the point where, like, it's even gonna increase our chances that queens recycle themselves or reproduce themselves. Everything about this is great. So that is the Vrauk turd we're gonna go with, and I'm very excited about it. And while we were doing all that, we got some extra Vrauk Mk2s here. How is this possible? Oh, okay, it's not. It was just rounding. I was like, there's no way that that's still the perfect ratio. It's not the perfect ratio. We would end up with one extra egg every hour. Alright, but these are going... This is so great. Alright, we're going to call that an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.